Hey guys, so as you know I've reviewed quite a few video games on this channel. Some are nostalgic classics and some are not. But today we are going to be talking about arguably the most recognizable Pixar game of all time, one that is most certainly a tier retro local video game store, and that is the Finding Nemo game. Alongside the Incredibles game, this is a game that I grew up with, and one that I'm sure most of you have played at least once in your life. With iconic and recognizable Finding Nemo as a franchise, the movie was everywhere back in the 2000s. It's still popular today, but back then it had a special kind of popularity, from toys to snacks to computer games, and of course as we are talking about today, video games. So today let's dive in and talk about why Finding Nemo the game is a nostalgic throwback. So the game, just like all Pixar tie-in games, follows the plot of the movie, and most of the levels, while there are a few deviations, still stay pretty close to the story of the film. The levels themselves are all very different from each other, while most of them have the same side missions. The formula is switched up every now and then, which is something I really appreciate from a tie-in game. Now most of the levels are nothing great, but they're still a lot of fun and provide great enjoyability. There are a few that I didn't like though. The first one that really got under my skin was Minefield, the first Dory level, where you have to keep up with Bruce on the way to the submarine. The reason why I didn't like it was because there were a few instances where it was kind of difficult, like when the current pushes Dory way too hard towards the enemies, and I ended up dying multiple times, or when I had to bounce on the bomb balloons and Dory takes forever to turn and jump on the bomb that wasn't about to explode. It was just a very unpleasant level to play through. I also didn't care one of the tank levels, the one where you have to prepare for the escape plan. There's this one part of the level that took forever to complete, and it's where you have to clean Jacques' shell collection. It was tedious and boring and felt like it took forever to complete. And don't even get me started on the puzzle segments. These took way too long to complete, but overall the levels are mostly memorable and enjoyable. I especially like levels where you get to switch between characters. It makes the level a lot more interesting and fun. A lot of them do have parts of the other in them, like there are keeping up parts, chasing parts, bouncing parts, swimming through ring parts, and many more. And while it did feel a little repetitive at times, the game still keeps up an energy that keeps me enthralled. As for the graphics, I really like them. It is dated by today's standards, but there's a certain charm and admiration for the way they managed to bring the ocean world to life. This game was developed by Traveler's Tales, WHO, for the Lego games, as well as a few others. They also developed the early Pixar games like Toy Story and Toy Story 2 and A Bug's Life. A really solid game, and this was their last game they developed for Pixar for Heavy Iron Studios, and later Asobo took on that role, and for a final game, they did a really great job. This is by far their best looking game for Pixar. The colors, the movement, the expression, the energy, it's just overall a really good looking game. As for the boss levels, or the chase levels, since you don't actually fight anybody in this game, are okay. They're just levels where a giant antagonist is chasing you and you have to escape them by outrunning them until the end of the level. Nothing more to say on them since they are all the exact same. There are also these races in the middle of levels where you can earn stars, and that unlocks a minigame, as well as other side stuff like collecting pebbles and putting them in their respective colors, bouncing on the objects to turn the same color, and a few others. They're honestly okay, nothing too special, but if you want to complete this game 100%, they're pretty enjoyable. The voice acting is pretty good too. I'm pretty sure it's not the original cast, but the voice actors they got for this game do a spot-on job of the characters' voices and personalities, really capturing the charisma and likability of these characters. So overall guys, I think Finding Nemo is a very enjoyable and extremely nostalgic game. It's not great and it's not one of my favorites, but it's a nice little time if you just want something enjoyable and comforting to play, or something to just chill and relax to, or just have a fun time. It's not as good as the Incredibles games, Toy Story 3 or Toy Story 2, but it is very enjoyable. It's a game that everyone can play, it never gets old. It's a game that became a bestseller for a reason, and it's a game that will be around for a very long time. So anyways guys, what do you think of Finding Nemo the game? Let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you guys later.